everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy at TV. In case you're not a subscriber yet, please do subscribe. Just press the subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell so that you can get notifications when we upload our videos. Don't also forget to subscribe and join, follow, like our other social media platforms. Of course, you're seeing it right about now. Don't also forget to share this video across your platforms. Enjoy the video. All right, welcome back to the program. We're talking insurance now. Just a few days ago, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed a new insurance bill into law, and I have the Deputy Commissioner at NAICOM joining me here, Mr. Ekerete Ola Gam-Ikon. My friend before. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Linda, Nancy.
How are you doing?
Very good to be here.
Yes, since your appointment.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyway, this public congratulations. We'll be speaking, off camera.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the program. Let's talk about this new law that the president just signed into law. I remember those days, your appearance on the show. These are the kind of things we're canvassing for, at least in the last few years.
Yeah, sure.
You don't take shy, you don't pass few years. So President Tinubu just signed what you call the NAICOM 2025 law. Can you speak to our audience as to some of the elements that will change the industry's trajectory in this law?
Okay, thank you very much, Nancy, and it's nice to be here to then talk about this very important and transformational moment for the insurance industry and its stakeholders. We call it NERA Act 2025. NERA 2025. I meant to say.
Yes.
That's what we call it, and it's the thing that has gained momentum all across the world. The Nigerian insurance industry has suddenly earned the kind of attention it has not earned in the last 2 decades, and so we say thank you to the president. We say thank you to the National Assembly. We say thank you to all other stakeholders, including the Minister for Finance, for all the work that has been done to make this happen. And as we continue to engage, to enlighten people about this, we like to remind us, that what this law is a combination of several laws, several outdated laws. The motor insurance of 1945, the marine insurance, the NAICOM insurance, and the Nigerian Re Act, and all of that has been put together to then make out what we call a modern legislation that is meant to transform the insurance industry. And so some of the things that are essential to mention, are things that have to do with consumer protection, that things that have to do with compulsory insurance coverages, the things that have to do with the financial soundness of the insurance entities, things that have to do with claim settlement, things that have to do, of course, with digitization of the process. And then, importantly also, is expanding what you describe as the scope for insurance, because with regularizing the ECOWAS protocols, where Nigeria now has to establish its own national bureau, all of that has created a new dimension and a new road to impact the economy. And that's why we keep saying, when we talk about this, that this is the moment when the insurance industry begins to contribute, to the vision of the president for having an economy that is a 1 trillion naira economy by the year 2030.
That's a $1 trillion economy.
Dollar economy.
Yes, and let's get granular.
Yes,
because when it comes to insurance, like we used to say those days, people will say, God, now my insurance. I have someone that is taking care of me.
Yep.
Insurance.
That remains.
Yes. So let's go a bit granular.
Yeah.
From this law, also, I know that there will be new capital requirements.
Of course, yes.
From this law, of course, we even know that there's compulsory insurance. But there's been compulsory insurance even for years, for cars, for buildings, even for workers.
Yes.
But people still get away without it. What will this law now do to make sure that it's not business as usual? That's one. The second question I also want to add is the new capital requirements for
insurance companies.
Yes, for insurance companies. For a customer that is watching now, or for a Nigerian that would now want to get interested in buying insurance as a result of this new law, what difference does it make that an insurance company now has 25 billion naira? That's the new capital requirement. Now, what difference does it make that the new capital requirement is like 25 billion naira instead of like a 3 billion naira in capital base? I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I'm trying to make this interview as basic as possible so people will understand. So what does this actually mean? Does it mean better claim payouts too?
Okay, so let me answer this way. So when we came in last year as the new administration at the National Insurance Commission, we were specific on what our agenda was. Our agenda was to rebuild public trust. And for you to rebuild public trust, the way to go for insurance is to pay your claims. And so Nigerians have always said, and unfortunately some of them continue to say, because there have been those historical experiences, that insurance companies don't pay. But I can tell you that as a new administration, after we came in, we declared zero tolerance for claims delays, and that became the mantra. And indeed, we enforced it. So when you ask for your first question, what is going to be different, is that now the regulator, by this law, by this new act, the NIRA 2025, has been given a teeth to bite, unlike before. So we had set the tone for that when we came in last year and started engaging. Because we, if you recall, we actually intervened and then took over an insurance company that was suffering from inability to settle claims. And we then went ahead to announce to all insurance companies to pay outstanding claims. And we followed up, you understand. So we set the tone for that. So this law has now come to give, the bite that is required to be able to indeed penalize, companies. And by the way, they've also been issues where customers actually attempt to defraud insurance companies. So we've also taken note of that and invited insurance companies and insurance operators, other insurance operators, brokers, what have you, to come forward and make those reports. And this is the time to actually be able to escalate such things and create that public awareness for those kind of things that are happening. So speaking to the issue of minimum capital requirements and how that will impact the insurance business. Okay, so you know that for every kind of investment that you do, you have investors that come in and provide capital in different forms, either by land or building or things like that. Now, we're going to go through a process that will verify the capital that you've brought in, because that capital is required to be there in the event that the insurance company has to honor its obligations, in this case, claims. So we've had in the past where insurance companies had claims to pay, they had buildings that could not be transformed into cash because either the ownership was still in the hands of the owners of the company, the directors and chairmen of the company. So we're going to deal with those issues going forward and ensure that the capital, whatever represents asset, is in the name of the company. So that at any point in time, it can be transformed into cash. But by the way, there is a process of determining what is capital. And that was defined in the Finance Act some years back, which we are still going to follow through in this process to make sure that what has been defined as minimum capital is indeed what it is. So to the public, we're just saying, look, we're now going to have insurance companies that are sound financially and will be able to settle your claims, which is why we can boldly go out there and say, if an insurance company has been owing you claims for more than 60 days and has not paid, it's time for you to come to the regulator and make a case. Yes. However, there are cases where those claims, could be sorted out immediately, and maybe you feel denied or you feel delayed. Yes, of course, we're able to deal with that because we've got a more active complaints bureau now to deal with issues. And that's why we come out with complaints, schedule of complaints from time to time, so whereby people make complaints to insurance companies and we're able to intervene and let those insurance companies handle them.
Okay, you're also going to recapitalize the sector. And let me also tell our viewers, in case they don't understand, NAICOM is just like central bank for banks. So NAICOM is the regulator for insurance companies, yes, for you to understand what we're talking about. And there are recapitalization plans also for the, I would like you to speak about that, non-life, life, and reinsurers.
Yeah, I was actually going to come to that by way of clearly stating that, so we've got categories of insurance companies: life, non-life, which is general, and then the reinsurance companies. So for the life companies, the capital is moving from 2 billion, to 10 billion. For the general insurance companies, the non-life, the capital is moving from 3 billion
so
to 15,
for,
to 15
for the
billion.
life
For life,
yes,
it's from 2 billion to 10 billion. And then for general business, which is non-life, it's moving from 3 billion to 15 billion.
15.
And for reinsurance companies, it's moving from 10 billion to 35 billion.
Okay.
Nancy, if you look at these numbers and you begin to, how we do it, look at it from the foreign exchange angle and things like that, we're still very far from it in terms of what the capacity should be. But the interesting side of things is that we've got the risk-based capital framework, which simply says you can only do the level of business that, your capital can support.
Just like
which means some companies will naturally seek to have more than this prescribed capital, minimum capital, because they want to do bigger businesses, and that defines it. So clearly, any company that doesn't have that minimum capital will not be able to do certain classes of business.
Is there an opportunity to merge? Because with this now, perhaps smaller local insurance companies can meet the new figures. So are we going to see them perhaps vanish, merge, or find creative ways to survive? So, just like we had in the banks those days.
No, we also had it in insurance.
Yes, we had it in insurance.
We also had it in insurance, where some companies were taken over by other companies. Yes, of course, what this does a lot of the time is that it creates opportunities for companies. You don't have to be financially weak to combine. So it creates opportunity for mergers and acquisition, where even two great companies can come together. And I'm sure you are aware that even in the industry, in insurance, we've had two great companies come together recently. That was not motivated by anything beyond just trying to be bigger and do more business. So we expect a lot of that to happen, and we also do know that where that does not happen, naturally, those companies will fizzle out. But an important thing for us as regulators is to ensure that as that happens, the policyholders don't suffer. And so we'll seek to always protect the policyholders to make sure that in the event of changing ownership and things like that, the policyholders are safe.
So with this now, let's talk about the policyholder protection.
Yes, the policyholder protection fund.
Yes, which is a part of this law.
Oh, yes.
Can you make it granular so that people can understand?
Oh, absolutely. What that means is simply to say there is a fund that has been put in place now through this law, through this new law, which provides that operators, will make a contribution from part of their premium to the fund. And that fund is set aside, as the name pretends, Policyholders Protection Fund. It simply says that where insurance companies become unable to, or they are weak and unable to honor obligations, that's where the fund comes in, to then help that situation. Because we had an experience recently which could not happen. The interesting thing is that while we are just introducing this as part of our law in the environment, this has happened in other climes for decades. And that probably has accounted for why you've had a better insurance penetration in those areas. So what we see happening here is with this, we are able to look forward to, deeper insurance penetration and greater contribution of the insurance sector to the GDP.
One big headline from this NERA 2025 is that motor insurance certificates, I talked about it earlier on during my intro, will now be digital. So for an everyday driver that is watching right now, how does that work in real life? To say if they are stopped by the police, for example, can we, make it relatable?
I'll tell you, even before this law has just firmed it up. But even before this law, you will recall that this administration, the National Insurance Commission, came through with a program to enforce third-party motor insurance. And what we're doing basically was to try and bring out the benefits for people to understand where the benefits are. And The benefits are simply that you put your car on the road, I put my car on the road, I have third party, you have third party. We are both protected. Because if something happens on account of an accident on your part, I'm protected. On my own part, you are protected.
But people buy third-party insurance because it's like one requirement as a car document. Not necessarily that they do have those insurance products. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
What I'm saying to you, Nancy, is that quite honestly, we have seen a movement, a shift from what you are saying to a new thinking and a new appreciation of a narrative that indeed your third party matters. It's no longer a case of, oh, third party is just a paper. Because insurance companies are also paying huge claims for third parties, you know. And so the message clearly for Nigerians is that, yes, this law also re-emphasizes the need for you to have third party. And to have third party now has become easier. That's the digitization of the process. So you can go to our platform, you know, National Insurance Commission platform, and also the industry platform. Buy your insurance policy, download the policy, you know, have it on your phone, have it on any kind of device you have. And if somebody stops you to ask for it, you show it. And then when you show it, the number of that policy is taken out and taken into a verification platform also within the system, where you can actually verify that this policy exists and you are good to go. That's what this process means.
So does this third party also suffice that perhaps if there are accidents on the road between two cars,
yes,
just like we see abroad where you travel, if there are accidents on the road, okay, what's your insurance? They just sort it out and they go.
Absolutely.
So will this do that too, even though it's third party?
Absolutely. This has been happening. It's just that, okay, maybe on the part of the industry, we haven't done a lot more of...
You don't do a lot of awareness. Insurance sector is guilty of that. And I will tell you that, you know. I will tell you that. Not even, I will even tell you that as you are in NAICOM now.
Can I be honest with you?
I know they do anything.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes, or you don't do enough. Yes.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
There's too much noise in Nigeria. Nigerians don't hear.
No. But anything concerning the banks, Nigerians hear and they take it up. Okay, defend that.
Why do you keep comparing?
Because both of you are in financial services.
No,
and in other climes, the insurance industry is even bigger than the banks. You know what I'm talking about?
That's old story. Stop insisting on that story.
No, but
listen to us.
Yes, I'm listening.
Now, what it is that if not for insurance, there won't be a refinery in Nigeria. If not for insurance, there won't be an aircraft flying. We back all of these businesses. Give me the value of an aircraft, and I will tell you what insurance does to keep it going.
Are you telling me,
yes,
and are you saying that there's enough awareness coming from that sector?
What I'm saying is that we are communicating, but people are not listening because there is too much noise.
I don't want to agree with you.
Hold on. I'll tell you our engagement. I'll tell you our engagement. And I would like to remind you, if you may have forgotten, last year, at the highest level, we heard where a minister came out and condemned the insurance industry. You may not recall. What did we do? We engaged. And he came around at the end of the day and commended the same industry. We have records of that. What happened? We were saying the same thing that we had been saying, but the audience was taken away, made to believe that it doesn't work. You know? So the real issue is that we are saying, I'm here on this program now, and I'm making that communication, I'm giving that assurance. But you see, the level of believability is low. We understand. But we'll continue to communicate. And what we are saying is, let us not just talk about it, test it. Nancy, buy an insurance policy now and have the experience, and let's discuss.
I do have.
You know, so it's different from what it used to be. We're not saying it had always been great, but we're saying it's different. And so people
and there's room for improvement.
Oh, you don't want me to mention that word because you don't like that word, hope.
No, not that I don't like the word hope.
So honestly, we've got renewed hope right now around the insurance industry. And we are inviting stakeholders to be with us on this journey. You know, NIRA 2025, it's a great time. It's transformational for us. It's something that gives us more confidence to go out there because we know that at NAICOM, you know, it's no longer business as usual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to round off now, but I need to say this. With this NIRA 2025, will it make insurance cheaper? Because, you know, what I'm looking at the end of the day
I can answer your question very easily.
And for somebody that is watching that has never bought insurance before, what would you tell that person? How would that how will this new law affect the daily life or even the wallet of the person?
Okay, great. Do
Quickly,
you know?
30 seconds.
Do you know? And have you heard about something called insurance technology, insurtech?
Yes, I do.
That's where we are going.
Yes.
Today, there are solutions in the market that can enable you buy insurance for as cheap, motor insurance, for as cheap as 200 naira, 500 naira. All you have to do is upload the app, pay money into it, drive your car, and wherever you stop, it stops. That's how cheap it is. It's also possible, you know, through that process, on another policy, for you to get whatever kind of insurance you want. And so at the commission, what we've done also is recently, right before the act was signed and released, we also released the guidelines on insurtech operations. And that's a great opportunity for whoever wants to you know, get engaged and get a nice experience out of insurance.
I hope we engage further on this, and let's see how this goes. I hope we engage further.
We'll be happy to.
For more education.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I've been speaking with Mr. Ekerete Ola Gam-Ikon, the Deputy Commissioner for Insurance as well as Finance and Administration at NAICOM. NAICOM is the regulator for the insurance companies. All right, that's the much we can take on today's edition of the program. Thank you all for your company. As always, be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. I am Nancy Naji. Bye for now. Thank you for making it up to this minute watching the video. Thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV. Like, follow all our other social media platforms where we keep you up to speed with fantastic interviews, as well as markets, personal finance, business, and economy information. This is the best place to be. I'll see you all again in the next video.